Or do you have proof of liability insurance?
Liability insurance?
Yeah.
For what?
If one of your signs
For
should
exercising?
fall, if one of your signs should
This is
fall,
made of foam. Exercising my First Amendment right to free speech?
Well, the property itself is leased by the fair board for the extent of the fair, okay? For the 5 days, 6 days. Okay? And the other vendors, other churches, CEF is here and pays to be here.
Except they're selling things.
No, they're not.
CEF
No, they're
is
not.
giving away their CEF isn't selling it.
I know, but they're paying to have a specific space.
Right.
See, me having this, you could say the same thing about someone that says, does that person have liability insurance for having their dog? Look, they have a dog there, and they could bite. They're right down there, about the size of a 2-year-old's face, and they could bite the kid's face. Or a person with a stroller, someone could lean back and fall over a stroller. Your argument is invalid. It's an invalid argument.
The argument is then we have anybody here handing out literature.
Handing out literature, this is a public place, and handing out literature, it's no different than if two people were talking and someone handed someone else their business card, you know, because they were having a conversation.
Because this is not for money anyway.
It's not commercial anyway. And just the fact that
My other churches aren't for commercial.
I know, and I was going to say, just the fact that they're nonprofit. I'm not a nonprofit organization.
Yeah, because I want to know what
I'm just not here for a profit.
That way? I don't know.
What I'm saying is that this is no different than any kind of you know, free speech anywhere. Whether it is public property. There's not even though it's leased by the fair board, there's no entrance fee, and it's free for anybody to come on the property unless they're, you know, causing a disturbance. And as you've seen,
I have a complaint already.
About what?
About you're taking up a person's space because people are walking around your people.
I'm here against the wall.
No,
I'm deliberately.
Up there. You have somebody up there handing out.
Yeah, but what they're doing is they're not doing anything any different than
other people
anybody else.
around.
There's a group of boys there, and he's got a skateboard. You know, there's kids coming through here on their bicycles, and I suspect that you don't like the message.
No, I don't like.
And I suspect I'm not a vendor.
No, but
I'm not a vendor.
It's the people handing out literature to people.
There's nothing wrong. This is totally protected by the First Amendment and by precedent, by Supreme Court cases. What I'm saying is that me handing something out here is not illegal. This is no more. It's no different than if I'm talking to someone about something. I mean, there's a guy right there. He's got a ball. Is it illegal for him to have the ball in his hand? See, I'm not. What you're trying to do is you're saying, since those people paid to have a booth. See, if it rains here, I'm out of here. But the people in the booths, you know, they've got a protected booth. They've got a space.
And they paid to be here.
Right. But what you're doing is you're trying to say that since some people there are specific spaces that you used to you know, to rent out, then that means that I can't be here just talking to people. All I'm doing here is exercising the right of not to have my free speech abridged. That's all I'm doing.
Then why can't you do it out on the street?
Because there's no one there. I tend to like to talk to people where there's people, you know. If I do it on the street, you know, and I don't think you like the message, but at the same time, I think that you wouldn't admit it if that was the truth, you know. And it's an unpopular message. We're coming. There would have to be a specific ordinance that I was violating in order to have me leave.
It's that the property itself is leased to the fair board, and then they make money for the fair board off spaces and other.
But I'm not taking up one of their spaces.
The money they wouldn't receive if they allowed everybody to use up their First Amendment rights for commercial, for nonprofits, anything else. They wouldn't receive any money.
Well, let me ask you this: if there was someone in there selling a book, like you know, one of the ministries, that would be all right, right?
If they had that on their description of what they were selling.
Okay, but would they have to pay you extra?
No, they'd have to pay the same as anybody else.
Okay, well, I'm not selling anything. All I'm doing is talking to people and giving them some paper. This is all about talking to people about God. It's not about having a space or making money or promoting my ministry or anything like that. You know,
We do it on public sidewalks all the time.
we do this all over the place.
In fact, right now, probably you're going to the Dalles. We do it every Saturday night in the Dalles.
Yeah, what's it getting to be about?
We're on the sidewalks every Saturday night.
Well, it's about time to get going if you're going to Saturday night.
Well, sometimes, you know, we usually like to go there late, and then we spend a couple hours there, and then we go home. But, you know, we're not...
Okay.
Well,
So this isn't public property?
you got it.
You got it. It's paid for and leased.
And where is that written down like that?
What's that?
Where is that written down
Okay,
like
you
that?
lease a car. Does that mean that I get to use your car?
No, of course not, because it's not public property.
Neither is this.
This is always public property.
No, it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's not.
It's not. There's not. If there was a.
If you leased it next week, whose property is it?
Tell me how this is.
I'm
That is the
asking a question.
cutest baby.
You leased it next
Seriously.
week. You leased it next week to have whatever you want to do here. Whose
Right.
property is it? Who controls what's on it while you're here and you lease it? You lease the stadium down here in the grounds.
Yeah.
Whose is that? Well, you're leasing it, remember?
Right.
And you want to have something there. Some people come that you don't
Sure,
want.
but I wouldn't want people up on the stage.
That doesn't
That
matter.
would be disorderly conduct.
Yes, so is you.
How am I being disorderly?
Because they've asked you to get a booth, because they've offered a booth to you like everyone else here,
But I
and you
don't
refuse
want
to
to
do
do
it.
it. I'm not doing anything different than anyone else. Like those group of people there are talking. And are you going to regulate their speech? Do you want to abridge their speech?
No, but that's
why
not
do you
what
want to
you're doing.
abridge my speech?
That's not what you're doing. You're sitting here handing out handouts.
It's all right.
No, it's not.
Is it illegal for someone to hand out something from some other person? What if they hand out two of them?
You're just going to argue till you think you're right.
See, you don't have any answer for that. That's why.
Yes, I do.
You don't.
You don't have an
answer that doesn't.
Because I have the authority to tell those two people to come over and arrest you. That's what I have.
Oh, you're their boss.
Yes, I am. Okay? I'm the one that told them to come over in the first place.
Yeah.
They didn't want to cause a scene, so that's what it comes down to. Do we want to cause a scene or not?
Of course.
I prefer you to just do what the county fair board asked
You don't
you to
like
do,
the message.
to go on. No, I could care less about the message.
I don't believe you.
I could care less what the message was. I could care less if you were selling pork hocks at the end of the parking lot.
Yeah.
The point is that they lease the property. It's theirs for the week.
They who?
The county board.
Aren't
the
you
county fair
part of the fair board?
No. Nothing to do
Who
with it.
are you?
I'm the captain of the sheriff's office. Okay? That's why I'm in charge of that. Okay? I told them to come over and mute you. They're asking me, do you want us to cause a scene? I'm to the point where the scene's okay to me because you won't be reasonable enough to at least use a booth, which they've asked, or go on the edge of the grounds, which they've asked. That's all they've asked you to do.
Well, they
haven't
really.
told you.
She never asked me to do that. She said, She said, then why can't you be out by the street? And I said, because there's no people there.
Okay, what they want to ask you is either if you're going to be on the fairgrounds to get a booth like everyone else is getting a booth, and they're not all selling stuff either. There's people giving messages. There's churches that have booths. They want you to have a booth, or they want you to go to the end of the fairgrounds. So if you go down to the end here, where everyone walks out, you're going to see the same number of people that you're going to see right here, because they have to walk out there to go to their vehicles. That's where they go.
So what's the real reason behind this?
The real reason is other people, vendors, are upset because they've all paid for a spot. All the other churches
Really?
have paid for a spot.
And how many of those vendors complained?
I don't know. I wasn't the one that talked to them. The fair board director came to me and said, we've got vendors and people complaining that there's somebody out here that's not paying for a spot and they all have to pay for a spot. So that's when she came to us and said, what can I do? I told her she needs to offer you a spot in one of the booths, and if you refuse to do it, then she can kick you off because she owns the property for the day, for the week.
Well,
yes, because they're all paying.
you know, there's a dispute between her and me.
I don't have a problem with it. Well, I don't care whether you do or not. There's other people that paid for their spot.
Right, that's not a valid argument.
That's not arguing at all. So they're asking you to either move to the edge of the grounds or get a spot.
But you're asking me, but am I being told that if I don't move?
You're being told that you need to get a spot if you're gonna vend your wares, whether it's just talking or handing out stuff, but everyone else.
And if I don't, am I going to be arrested?
Well, that's what we're trying to decide. I came over hoping that you would be reasonable enough to at least follow their rules.
rather than arrest you.
But I don't. I don't believe. I don't believe that
I don't
there's
care
a
what
rule.
you believe or not. Okay? We're asking you to do it nicely, so we don't have to take you to jail. That's what we're asking. So
all I need to
get a
hear.
booth or walk to the end. That's what they want you to do. That is what they want you to do. Not ask you. That's what they want you to do.
Okay, I understand what they want. However, I feel I'm well within my rights.
I understand what you feel.
Because I'm really not doing anything different. She said that she was worried about liability insurance. First of all, people that get booths here don't need to have liability insurance.
They sign off when they sign for the booth.
And say what?
Whether they're liable or not.
Well, of course, if I hurt somebody, I'm going to be liable.
No, that's not true. They're all
paying $100
a waiver, okay?
A waiver of what?
A waiver of liability while they're here.
So that if they get hurt,
they hurt somebody else. Okay?
Oh, I see. So if they hurt somebody else, yeah, but if I hurt somebody else, I'm already liable.
The question is two things. Are you going to get a booth or not? And if you're not going to get a booth, are you going to move the edge of the grounds? Those are two questions. I don't need to hear all the mumbo jumbo in between. Those are the two questions.
Okay,
so
my question to you is,
I don't want
if I decide,
I want you to decide.
So that's a police tactic.
No,
to not
I'm asking you to decide which one you want to do.
I'm asking you, what would happen if I don't go down?
I'm not going to answer your question until you tell me what you're going to do. Yes, your two choices that the county fair board has given you. Okay, to get a spot, which they'll offer you, and they have one available.
I don't believe you're well. I don't believe you're within your rights. And
I know what you don't believe, but I'm telling you what the two options are. Okay. I don't have to warn you about nothing.
You didn't tell me two options.
You got two options according to the county fair board. You can walk off down to the edge of the property and be down at one of the two ends, or you can get a booth.
Or else what?
I'm not talking for them. Those are the two options they gave our officers to tell you that they want you to do. Get a spot in the sheds.
What I need to see is something that shows that I'm somehow breaking a law.
You're not going to get. I'm not going to give you a statute. I'm not going to give you anything else. Why?
You know, if I spit on the sidewalk and that was a law, then I would know for sure, that's a law, and I know that that's not right.
There could be a multitude of things. You could arrest you for disorderly conduct. Could give you a county ordinance for
disorderly. I haven't been disorderly.
You're disturbing because they've given you an option you haven't. We're going to try to move you, and you're not going to like it, and you're going to argue about it, and it's going to be disorderly conduct immediately.
So are you saying that if I don't move, you're going to arrest me for disorderly conduct?
I'm telling you that if you don't move, we're probably going to move you.
Well, why don't you just give me an ultimatum?
I already told you the ultimatum. You need to get a booth or go on the edge.
I know, but the ultimatum, if I don't agree to that.
The question. Can you answer a question rather than just constantly?
No, I want you to answer the question on what you're going to do if I decide not to leave.
I will tell you what it is once you make a decision. I can't make a decision until you make one first.
No, because you already know what you're going to do.
I'm pretty sure
you're either going to arrest me or you're going to back down.
No, I'm not backing down. Backing down ain't an option at this point.
So then you're going to arrest me.
I'm not telling you that either. I'm telling you got two options.
Well, you said you won't back down.
Would you listen and stop yelling?
I am listening.
Do what they ask. Either move down to the end or get a booth. Which one do you want to do? One or two?
I want to know.
I want you to tell me which one you want to do.
I don't know because I don't know how serious it is.
It is serious if you haven't figured it out by this time.
Well, you're keeping the ultimatum from me.
I'm not keeping nothing from you. I'm telling you your two options. You need to pick one.
You're telling me I have two options, but there's a third.
No,
if I stay here,
that's your other option. Which
one? And then I'm asking you, if I don't?
Then you're going to get moved.
I'm going to get moved to where?
I haven't decided yet. Depends how you react after you get moved.
Well, okay. Well, might. Someone's supposed to give you a ride, but they never did. So you just let them walk. I think I'll go.
You want the booth, or do you want to move?
But you've threatened me. You have made me feel intimidated that you're going to take me to jail.
You've been given two options.
You have made me feel intimidated.
You sat here and tried to argue, tried to get me to a point, and I haven't told you anything.
You are not being honest by telling me. Honest. No, you're saying you're going to move me, and you're not just going to scoot me down to the end.
Going down to the end.
No, but you're not
going into booth.
No, but I mean, you're saying that if I don't do one of those two options,
we're going to move you.
Yeah, but you're going to move me to the end of the road?
Depends on how you react.
Well, I'm not going to react with any kind of violence or resistance. What I'm saying is, are you going to move me to the end? Are you going to force me to go to the end?
We're going to move you to the end, or move you to the booth.
I'm off of the grounds.
If you want a booth, you're more than welcome to sign up for one, because they've got a.
I understand that, but you're repeating yourself. What I'm saying
is, because you haven't made a decision yet.
If I I decide not to go, are you going to move me off of the grounds?
We're going to move you down to the end.
So you're going down by the end, you mean off of the grounds?
Not necessarily. The grounds go all the way to the end down there.
So that's still their property that they're leasing.
They're offering the end or a booth. That's what I told you. They're offering you 2 spots. A booth.
So they're going to
or the
allow
ends of
me
the
to
ground.
be here as long as I'm not in the place that they want me to be.
As long as you're not in the area where the other vendors are seeing that you're sitting here and they've already paid for spots and you're not. So they're giving you the option of the end or a booth.
What if I just take my signs? Hey, it doesn't matter.
There's
Jeff,
other people that want one.
So what if I just take the signs and put them away? Are you saying that I can't pass out literature?
They don't want you. They want you. If you're going to be here passing out literature, the signs don't mean anything to them.
That's not
first.
Have you ever taken constitutional law?
Plenty of it.
Not enough, obviously.
Obviously.
Okay, so you're saying that if I don't go down to the end, or first of all, I'm not going to get a booth. All right, so let's stop talking about that. I don't have $100.
Then move to the end.
So if I don't move down to the end, if I say I'm not going,
we will move you down to the end.
So you're going to move me down there. You're going to forcefully
we're going to move you down there. It's only forcefully if you argue and fight about it.
But that's what I mean. It'll be forced because.
So what do you want to do?
What I'm saying is it's forced if you're saying that
you're going down to the end.
You're saying it'll be forced and physical if I don't go down there voluntarily.
I'm not saying that. That's completely up to you.
Well, that's certainly what it sounded like.
No, that's completely up to what you do.
You said it won't. You said it won't be forced if I go peacefully.
It all depends on what you do, sir. How you react and what you do. I can't tell you what you're going to do.
I'm not reacting. I'm just.
You already made a decision. You're going to go down. Go.
Well, no.
There's no reason to sit here and talk about it.
It's not going to do me any good to be down there because I want to be where there are people.
There's all kinds of people down there if you can't see.
Yeah, well, they want me down all the way past the grandstand, don't they?
They want you at the end of the midway.
Where's the midway? Isn't the midway where it goes through the carnival?
The midway goes all the way down through.
This is the midway.
This is the midway.
But they want me at the end. Yeah, all the way down. Yeah, I know where there's not much going on. Okay, so
because part of the midway down on that end is owned by the city. It's not all theirs.
Well, this is all owned by the city.
They're not leasing where the skate park is down at the end of the midway. Because there's a skate park down at the end of the midway.
Well, yeah, okay, I know. So they're saying basically get off of the part that we're leasing.
You're on both. You'd be on both the leased part and the unleased part of the end. Split in half. I can't show you the boundaries.
Right, but I mean. Okay.
So what do you want to do? I mean, that's what it comes down to.
I guess what I really want to do is I want to know if you're going to...
I've already told you everything I'm going to tell you, okay?
But you're going to make me go down there, right?
I'm telling you that the Fair Board wants you to do one of those 2 things. You need to make a decision.
But
you're standing here and arguing with me ain't cutting it, okay?
Here, look, first of all, I'm not handing anything out anymore. Well, okay, I'm done. I'm done. Okay? So, but if I continue...
They're going to want you to get a booth or move down to the end.
I don't want to get a booth.
Okay, then don't.
But what I'm saying is, if I don't go down there and I continue handing things out...
We're going to ask you to move down there.
Hey, Avy, come on over.
I don't want to have this entire discussion again, okay?
No, but I do need a witness because he is saying that if we don't go down to the end or get a booth, that they're going to move us down there. No. You need to be quiet when I'm talking to my wife.
Okay, I'm done discussing the whole thing with you. Okay?
All right, well.
So you make your decision, whatever to do. If you're still here.
What's your name?
If you're still here in the 5 minutes.
What's your name?
Captain Cool.
Look, you've already told me. Okay? You've already told me
you
that.
need to make a decision on one of the 2.
I know. You told me that you're going to
here with her to do whatever you're going to do, and in a few minutes. We'll decide what we're going to do. You're leaving for it. You've been given 2 options to leave.
I'm leaving. The only reason that I'm leaving is because you threatened that you will move. You told me you would move me.
I did not threaten you.
You told that I call it a threat.
You can make a decision on whatever you want, but I have not threatened you.
You told me that you would move me if I didn't move myself.
We will move you down there per their request.
Yeah.
They want
and
you
I
to
asked
move,
you, what if I don't go
you
peacefully? And you said, it all depends on how I react. Yeah? That's what you said.
Yeah, exactly. That's not saying I'm going to forcefully move you. So you like to fill in the lines, okay? So you make your decision.
Well, I'm moving under duress, and I just want, I got that on.
If you feel it's duress, that's fine. I don't feel it's duress. I don't feel it's duress. I came over hoping that you would be reasonable enough to at least follow their rules, rather than arrest you. We're asking you to do it nicely so we don't have to take you to jail. Get arrested for disorderly conduct. It's going to be disorderly conduct immediately. Hey, that's not saying I'm going to forcefully move you.